Good day, everyone. This is Coach Reese coming at you with another great video. I'm hoping all is well with you and your family and that you're enjoying your day. The title of today's video is Reality is What You See in the Mirror. Reality is what you see in the mirror. And I feel that this video is very important, young people, because, um, it's very important that you take your overall being personally. What I mean by that is, you know, you should, when you look in the mirror, you should see an overall good person. Okay. And so in this video, I'm going to explain to you, you know, the importance of what you should see in the mirror and how to conduct yourself accordingly. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and get started with that. Today, um, I'm going to be uh, I have a few notes here that I'm just going to do a video today on the fly. And I just pray that you all will bear with me as I go through this process. My first point is this. Your image in the mirror is who you are, your mindset, and your physical being. Your image in the mirror is who you are as far as your mindset and your physical being. So what I mean by that is, when you look in the mirror, you have thoughts in your mind when you look in that mirror. And only you know the type of thoughts that you're thinking, so in other words, if you have good thoughts of, striving to be an A student, striving to be an obedient kid as far as listening to your parents and teachers and always trying to do the right thing, that's an awesome mindset. If you have goals, like in your thought pattern, if you have thoughts on being a doctor or engineer or lawyer or what have you, that's an awesome mindset to have too. But on the other side of that, you can have negative thoughts, like, you can have thoughts of possibly hanging out on the streets and getting involved in things out there on the street that you shouldn't be doing, you know. So I just want to let you know, young people, if your mindset is negative, like, for example, you want to go out in the streets and, do whatever, get involved in some illegal activity, then you are gonna you're gonna suffer the consequence, right? So there's some harsh consequences for getting involved with illegal activity, right? And also, young people, uh, your family, your parents and brothers and sisters are gonna suffer for that negative behavior. So in other words, if you go out in the street and commit crimes or do whatever, eventually you're going to get caught, right, by the police, and you're going to have to go to jail and do some time. Okay. And so not only are you going to suffer, your parents are going to be suffering with you and your brothers and sisters. So in other words, if you go out here and commit crimes or whatever and go to jail, you might as well, your parents might as well be in jail with you, because they're going to suffer right along with you. And that is the wrong road to travel, young people, in life. Try to guard your mind and put good things in your mind. You understand what I'm saying? And always seek good wisdom, be it, if you attend church, that's great. Striving to learn about your history and who you are as a person, like your past. Those are good things to have in your mind. You understand what I'm saying? Your goals in your mind may be to, be an A student. That's awesome as well. So, you know, like I say, young people, guard your mind and only put good thoughts into your mind. Does that make any sense? And also try your best to surround yourself by good people. When you have good people surrounding you, young people, eventually that goodness will sink in and it'll make you a better person. Okay? My next point is this: your image in the mirror reveals who you are as far as your spirit. And so I may use the same examples as far as with the mindset point, but I'm going to go ahead and explain it like this. When you look in the mirror, young people, only you know it's in your spirit, right? So if you are a type of kid that, you're currently an A student, uh, you know, your parents are very proud of you because you're very obedient. When they have you to do chores and things like that, you do them. You do your chores without being told. Uh, you know, you're a very productive kid. You don't cause any trouble. Uh, you know, all your family and parents, and they're all proud of you for the decisions that you make. And that's an awesome thing to be in your spirit, right? But the flip side of that is you may have, if you have evil thoughts in your spirit, like, for example, like I just stated earlier, you had thoughts of going out in the street and, committing crimes or getting involved in illegal activity. Those negative thoughts of hanging out in the street is going to hurt your spirit. You understand what I'm saying? And, like I stated earlier, young people, um, you not only do you need to guard your mindset, but you also need to guard your spirit and only put good things in your spirit. Like I give you an example of some good things to put in your spirit. If you attend church, if your parents want you to attend church, that's awesome. And you're putting good spiritual wisdom in your spirit, and that's good. Also, if you have a fire or desire to learn about, study your history as far as who you are as a person, from your past, that's awesome. Because it's very important that you know your past so that you can pave the way for your present and on into your future. That's very important if you're passionate about studying history. But on the flip, like I say, when you have those good things in your spirit like that in your mind, it just makes you a better person. You understand what I'm saying? So if your spirit is healthy, it just radiates through your overall being, and it's just my humble opinion. If your spirit is healthy, it makes your overall being healthy. It makes you a more lively and more loving person, more of an approachable person. And you'll notice if you are have good things in your spirit, you notice that people may want to be around you because of your goodness within you. They feel good when they're in your presence in a genuine way, and that's awesome. So, young people, I ask that you guard your spirit and only allow good things to be, put good things in your spirit, like I just stated earlier, and stay away from having evil things in your spirit, like committing crimes and things like that, because like I stated earlier, when you do bad things, there's a consequence for the things that you do. And unfortunately, when you commit crimes or whatever, eventually you're going to get in trouble with the police and you may go to jail or what have you. And not only will you suffer, but your parents will suffer as well. And I don't want that for you. So just guard your spirit and only put good things in there, young people, okay? My next point is this: a mirror cannot lie. A mirror cannot lie. When you look at yourself in the mirror, young people, like I stated earlier, only one that knows what you're thinking. You're the only one that knows what is in your spirit. So it's not good to deceive yourself and say lies in the mirror when you're talking to yourself or what have you, because young people, when you say lies and deceitful things in the mirror, the only person that you're fooling is yourself. So when you look in the mirror, it's important that you be brutally honest with yourself. You know what I'm saying? You talk about your goals and aspirations in life, what you want to do and what you want to be. It's very important that you look at yourself and say that to yourself. It'd be great if you can say it every day to yourself, and then write goals down on a piece of paper and try to accomplish those goals to get to where you need to be. You understand? That's what I call being a very intelligent and wise person, when you set positive goals for yourself and you try your best to achieve them. Okay. Um, but on the other hand, you know, when you try to put on this facade, when you're looking in the mirror saying that you this and that and the third, and you know in your heart that you're not that person, you're just wasting your time. Does that make any sense? The only person that you're fooling is yourself. So when you look in the mirror, young people, like I stated before, just be brutally honest with yourself. And if you did fall astray, like, if you're, getting in trouble with your parents or doing things that you should not be doing, you need to ask yourself, you need to look at yourself in the mirror and make better decisions the next time. Does that make any sense? Sometimes, young people, you may get a second chance on life. Does that make any sense? Like, for example, if you decide to go in a local convenience store and, put a pack of gum in your pocket, there may be a chance that you'll get away with it, but that is the wrong decision to make. You understand what I'm saying? Because if by chance you get caught stealing that bubble gum, you may have to go before a judge or what have you, and constantly, mess up your record over something so foolish as stealing a pack of bubble gum, and you may be able to get away with it. But I'm just telling you, young people, the more that you steal, the more that you commit crimes, at some point you're going to get caught. So just be honest, young people, when you look in the mirror, and just make positive changes for yourself. You say, you know what, I used to be a person that wanted to run the streets and do whatever, get involved in legal activity. But today, I'm going to make better choices. Today, I'm going to strive to be, a doctor or a lawyer, or go to college, or, whatever. I want to be a plumber, or whatever you want to do, and that's great. So when you, young people, when you have a second chance on life, take advantage of it. When you look in the mirror and say, I'm going to make better choices next time, just look in the mirror and say that to yourself. I'm going to make better choices next time. Okay? Say that to yourself in the mirror. And I assure you, if you write the goals down and plan accordingly, you will succeed and be very productive in life. And that's awesome. Okay? My last point is this. When you look in the mirror, young people, say to yourself that you're looking at greatness. Do not say to yourself, do not look in the mirror in a conceited way and say that you're looking at greatness like you're better than anybody, but be humble, right? An humble person is willing to listen and act accordingly and be responsible for their actions. Does that make any sense? You have to strive to be an humble person, so when you look in the mirror and you say that you're looking at greatness, say that I am looking at greatness in an humble way. I am a humble person. You understand what I'm saying? That's the route that you want to stay on, that road to humility. Okay? Always be humble, young people. That's very important. I'm going to go ahead and conclude this video, young people. And in all my videos, I touch on the point of wisdom. I touch on the point of critical thinking. And then I end my video with an ending statement of practice. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started with my 3 points on wisdom. Point number 1, wise people are good listeners. Point number 2, wise people have the thirst or desire to learn good knowledge and spiritual knowledge. Young people, point number 2 is very important. Point number 3, wise people have the courage to teach their wisdom. So young people, I encourage you all to do your research on the topic of wisdom, and I pray that you all will pursue wisdom with the utmost seriousness. Young people, when you pursue wisdom with the utmost seriousness, it'll benefit you in the long run, and you'll be a tremendous blessing to you as well. I have a statement dealing with critical thinking. Always be a critical thinker, young people, especially when making big decisions. Always be a critical thinker, young people, especially when making big decisions. So young people, I encourage you all to do your research on the topic of critical thinking. And I also encourage you all to talk to your parents or guardians about the topic of critical thinking. And your parents will help you navigate the differences between making big decisions and minor decisions. Young people, it's just my humble opinion. The sooner you become a critical thinker, the better off you'll be. I have an ending statement of practice. I love you. I want the best for you. I want you to practice using love and wisdom in all that you do. Life is a game that you must learn how to play. Practicing love and wisdom with your family, friends, and loved ones creates a powerful team. Love conquers all, young people, even if you feel defeated. So young people, I encourage you to keep loving and keep growing and gaining in wisdom, and God will bless you in a mighty way. I encourage you all to hit the thumbs up on this video. I encourage you all to share this video with family, friends, and loved ones. And I encourage you all to subscribe to my channel. At the end of the day, young people, I want you to accomplish all your goals and dreams in life, and I want you to be the best person that you possibly can be every single day of your life. That's very important. I have one more nugget of wisdom before I officially conclude this video, and it goes like this. Don't ever think that you're better than anyone else, but rather, young people, think of yourself as just as good as anyone else. Humility is a vital key to successful life. I pray that you all would take that to heart and apply it to your life. Okay, young people, I'm going to conclude this video by saying this. May God bless you, and may God keep you until we meet again.